Welcome to Momentous Doge, Episode 11. A broken Riker is right twice a day. So this week, opponent Mitch, being a champ, before the game he was sort of talking to me about how often he plays against Fish, plays the same opponent quite a lot. They live close by, and or hang out in the same place. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's throw out all that shit I was saying last week about actually playing the same thing for more than one game, and I'll just go revisit the trauma of Steamcon. Why not? Fuck it. So here I'm playing Threshed. I win the roll-off and have a brain aneurysm and decide, so wait, why does everyone say you should really like kick with Threshed? Why don't you receive? Receiving seems sweet. You get the ball and you get to be Threshed. What's wrong with that? So turns out I forgot that last activation is quite a good thing with Threshed. You get that when you kick. That's pretty sweet. I also forgot that you get to be 5 inches up the field with Threshed. That's pretty sweet. There's probably a bunch of other things which I will realize throughout this game and then hate myself. So mission achieved. Channel subscribers. What's this, like a minute in and I'm already engaging in a bit of healthy self-loathing? Well done. We got there. So, here I'm having a bit of a mare trying to figure out how Thresh's team receives. That's probably another reason you kick, eh? Funny that. So, yeah. I've set up plan, if I have to, I'll receive with Jackstraw and just not be Thresher turn 1. That's a good plan. But, you know, ideally, it lands here and I can get it with Harrow, so not the end of the world. Still get my harvest marker, which is quite important, to be honest, and probably the only time I'll actually remember this game, because I'm good at the game, honest. Mitch sets up for, obviously, the good old turn 1 guns. That's pretty telegraphed here with his influence allocation. Not the worst thing, I think. It does force me to spread out a bit, which is not ideal for Thresher. If he dumps the full, 8 damage on all my players, Harrow's heals aren't really going to make a dent there, so could be worse. Here we get some reasonable harvest marker placement with Harrow, and then we kick it back. That harvest marker is sort of nice and central, perfectly positioned for Jackstraw. That's the last time I'll make great harvest marker placement this game. Funny. I'm not very good at Thresher, guys. But Thresher is very good. So, Millstone does a thing, kicks Thresher, dodges forward. Look, guys, we built a kicking Thresher. It only took me 2 players. Wow. So yeah, we've assembled our Thresher. Bit of a suboptimal, you might say, use of decision equity. You may notice that we're already down 3 minutes. This will be a continuing theme. Yep, that's a thing. So, I don't have a lot of, because I've chosen to go first. Yep, sweet. We're learning. This is fun. This is fun. You're learning with me. So, because I've chosen to go first, I don't have as many activations before he gets to run out of influence as I'd like. Thankfully, opponent Mitch here is, I don't know if he's incorrectly estimating, but I feel like he might have just sat on the front line and waited. I have to go pretty much my entire team deep before I can effectively missile in and kill anyone but Ratchet. And I'm not entirely sure he realized that. He did miss a deadbolt on Thresher, I think, there. And then Minefield, which he was sort of a bit sad about. But I'm not entirely sure it was relevant. The 3-inch push might have been nice, but I'm pretty sure Thresher still would have been in threat range of Ballista. And other than that, it doesn't really do anything. So I don't think it's that great a loss. He did Minefield, which is quite good here, I think. minimizing how much problems Threshed can cause you next turn. is quite nice. Especially since I've given him an opening to not get last firsted by Thresher. Here we're sort of doing some math about how we can go into Ballista and not get wrecked by that nest marker. Me and nest markers have almost as much of a strained relationship as me and Locust. I'm not saying Locust is good, I'm just saying Locust triggers me. Lookity-doo, we're down, yeah, still down, that's good. So here Thresher is going into Ballista. I'm forced to charge, which I think is quite nice for Mitch. If I'd been able to glide and walk, this might have been a bit better. As it is, we're sort of going, we're tooled up, we got some harvest markers, we're gonna mince Ballista a bit. We make enough momentum that we can feel pretty safe. Mitch doesn't have any influence left, so I sort of know what I'm aiming for. And we more or less get there. I win the roll, and so I get to double activation Thresher. So we got there, guys. We assembled our functioning kicking Thresher out of our receiving Thresher and learned a powerful lesson. Not optimal. Receiving Thresher could be better. He could be a kicking Thresher. So yeah, here I've actually managed to be even worse off on clock. Somehow thinking deeply about allocation to Thresher's team when it's really very simple. Should not cause this much consternation. Tatus positioning here, pretty terrible. I really wish that I could have had that influence to run Tater so he would now be in range to kill Ballista for me. That would be pretty sweet. But no. So Thresher's going to have to do it. So he takes some results. They ain't Tufts, Locust, and Ratchet, just in case, because he can. I want to make the momentum out of this kill of Thresher. And I have a vain hope that he'll dirtle those guys forward and just be a moron for me. Sadly, he is not a moron. So there you go. I walk in and I put a bit of a punching on Ratchet, knock him down, and then I will shoot my goal. 6 point him. That's good. We've successfully threshed. That's about the end of the successful in this game, unfortunately. Here, I toilet bowl innumerable minutes of my clock with reaching miles over the table and just being a moron about where do I want to dodge Thresher. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, if he's gonna kill Thresher, he's gonna kill Thresher. I forgot to heal the minefield damage from last turn, and I'm not very good at the game, so there you go. If I were, I think I shouldn't have bothered to dodge here. I think I should have just stood there. And if I was going to dodge, I should have dodged backwards. So here he kicks out, and Locust goes in. I believe he kicked to velocity there with remote control, and he just knocked down Ballista, knocked down Thresher with Locust. So that's pretty much me riding off Thresher there. He will actually kill Thresher this turn, which I thought was a bit weird. I kind of expected him to just leave Thresher and risk me winning momentum. I don't think me allocating 5 to Thresher, standing him up and hitting people in like this configuration is actually that big a deal. Don't really see what's going on here. He's sort of setting up here for Hoist to come in and kill Thresher, I think, putting that nest marker down there. I don't really understand that one either. Seems like he's overcommitting a bit, where he could just sort of wait. This is sort of typical of what I think happens a lot when you play a Super Solo Captain. You sort of jam it down their face and they panic and try to get rid of it, when it's a lot like the ball. I've given you my captain. You can kill it and give it back to me and get some points, or you can just sit on it. And that seems like dangerous. Sitting on the ball is kind of dangerous unless you really know what you're doing with it. But yeah, it seems like there's a lot of power in that, and that might be like a bit of an opportunity here to receive a return serve of bad play. But I obviously won't take advantage of it because I'm shit. So, I've managed to only be down 6 minutes at this point. Miracles, they do happen. But what I'm going to do is spend ages fucking around with where do I want Harrow to be next turn. I sort of thought about putting him up the front there for a second. Luckily, I realized that's a fucking terrible idea. He's the squishiest guy on the team, and I really want to be maximizing my use of that heal aura this turn. All this incidental chip damage might be starting to add up, so I really need to get it on everyone this turn. Here, Jack Straw dumping his harvest markers up there for damage. Most of these models have already activated. He doesn't have any influence to run, so I might as well take the damage and those harvest markers, because I'm pretty sure I'm picking those harvest markers up next turn. Anywhere I put them, I'm probably going to want to pick them up. So, what we've got here is a bunch of activations. He's sort of running velocity in, kicking the goal. I think this might have been a mistake. I think he should have kept velocity back there a bit. It's quite dangerous. She's not the hardiest one of the engineers. She's definitely harder to kill than she should be. Here I've removed 2 of my plot cards. I've got the man marking influence and shit, I got another one, whatever. But here velocity scored on me, and I forgot I also have the Vengeance token, which I choose not to use. Here, I thought this was a bit of a risky play. I've moved Tater back, taken a swing. I think I might have been better advised to go deep on Threshed killing velocity. Probably would have actually been feasible if I'd removed that Vengeance token. And keep Tater as more position for a countercharge there. You'll see later in the turn that sort of throws me a bit out of position and requires a bit more risky, aggressive play than I could have sort of gotten away with otherwise. Allocation for Mitch, fairly standard. He puts the 1 influence on velocity to sort of make me do it. If I don't do something proactive in the back there, she's just going to score again and I'm done. So, as you'd expect, we do something proactive. We thresh. So Thresher without any of his dumb stuff, making some rolls on velocity, and boy, that RNG. 5 sure is vulnerable to some super hard RNG. I'm down 10 minutes now. 11 minutes, that's some shitty play. Thinking way too much here. We managed to get deep enough just and get rid of velocity with just Thresher's activation, but we do have to sort of get a bit of the RNG swings back to me. He drops the ball, and that's fine. I would have liked to kill velocity with an influence spear to kick dodge someone, or kick dodge Thresher back into relevance, because he's sort of stuck there now. I legendaried for the attack to make sure I was killing velocity. And I thought this was a pretty decent legendary, but we're gonna sort of see later that my players are a bit out of position, even with kick dodges, and that legendary is going to turn out to be a bit of a dud. Probably was better to just go an extra turn deeper and not invest so much in this turn. Sort of the gap between me and Mitch's players is allowing him to sort of play out of my man marking influence and my feet at the same time, which is a bit awkward. So here I've tooled up and taken the kick dodge with Tater and sort of started to re-scrum everyone. You'll notice that Thresher is in the back. Could have been better, I suppose. Here, Mitch's amazing nest marker placement lets me charge Locust with Tater and not get dragged in. Yay, we did it, guys. We did it. But I don't really get anything. That 2 armor is a bit of a bitch on the extra swings. So we do some damage to Locust. We put him within death range, but actually closing this out is going to be quite hard because all my guys are so far back. Millstone has the ball because Tater kick dodged to Millstone. But what I forgot to take into account was that Millstone can't sack conditions off herself. So while this play is not crippling for myself, that's sort of a like, oh, whoopsies moment. I probably should have just picked Millstone instead of going in with Tater. Nothing happened that activation that actually really mattered. And everything, Tater was on the box. Can't be pushed. That was just glaring fuck up. So the ball scatters behind Thresher, which it could have been worse. Could have gone the other way. So here we've got a decision to make, and here I hope my opponent was bad and left Mother outside of 6 inches of hoist. Sadly, opponent not bad. Me on 9 minutes. So I haven't noticed this at this point, and I'm sort of toilet bowling my turn, thinking about what I'm going to do. Do I just proactive Millstone, bump some guys around, and not do much? Or do I commit to the kicking plan? This is a huge mistake. I'm on 8 points, so I only need to score this goal. Doesn't matter how many turns it takes me to score this goal, because I have plenty of time if I just need the goal. Instead, what I'm going to do is be like, oh yeah, Jackstraw's a 5 with a mom tackle on 1. It doesn't really matter if Hoist comes into him. He's only got 4 influence. RNG, save me. So I kick to Jackstraw after bumping some suboptimal dudes, and dodge him back to the box. This costs me momentum, standing up Millstone, and also I forgot that token on Hoist says overclocked. So he actually has like 6 influence. This is a bad time. My opponent is on 6, but yeah. So when I realized he says overclock, I was like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I don't really care if he scores here. He can take that ball or just take it back. Or he can score. I don't really care. He's only on 6. He'll go to 10. That's fine. He's not getting another takeout. Doesn't matter. But I'm on 6 minutes, and I haven't realized this. Opponent is on 16 minutes. So that's not great. I only need 2 takeouts, and Locust is a reasonably easy takeout. But that next one, that's a doozy. It's not ideal. So yeah, this is it's pretty average. Could be better. This is where this game, like, that kick took me out of the driver's seat and tied me up in the boot of this game. That's that's pretty egregiously bad, not gonna lie. My kick out here, Hoist kicks back, looking to kick to Ballista, and it sort of ends up on pick. That's pretty shitty, to be honest. It's just really not ideal. I can't get that ball off pick. Pick's already activated. My chicken on Jackstraw turns out to be the worst possible answer. So yeah, that's just terrible. Just strictly the worst. So Jackstraw sort of jumps up, engages Hoist, engages Mother, just tries to be the biggest dick possible, and put himself in range to... now that he's had the ball stripped off him, the best he's going to do is be in range to threaten, if he gets the ball, to take a Harvest Marker's jump over everyone goal. Sadly, Mitch gets to go first because momentum exists. Hoist takes that ball off Peck handily with a burrow from Mother, bit of a punch, and runs and scores. So that's just magic. I sort of feel like this is fine for me. It doesn't really matter. I'll just kick it out. Either Tater will be able to get it, or Jackstraw will be able to get it. That's fine. I even put the ball like miles back. And then it scatters in literally the worst direction. Straight to Mother. This is unmitigated garbage here. And the mere fact that happens sort of chucks the rest of the game away from me. Because I go so deep in the tank, like, what do I do? What do I do, guys? What do I do? So eventually I realize, okay, fuck it. We'll just hit Mother with Tater and steal the ball. And I commit the second cardinal sin of kicking it to Jackstraw and dodging on the box. I'm clocked out here, and I dodge away. So, opponent realizes, Chris has clocked out, gone to 11, has one activation to score. Can he score with Jackstraw? Spends minutes figuring out if I can score with Jackstraw before he realizes that his captain has 6 and my mascot is buried so deep in his face. Def 5 dodging chicken, no match for 6 influence ballista. So this is basically the end of the game. Mitch has managed to play a very reasonable game here, playing admirably into terrible Thresher play, making all the right moves, using annoying models like Locus and Hoist to full effect, getting the most out of their annoying characteristics and minimizing their downsides. I, on the other hand, have played like shit, and just get smashed. Ballista fries my chicken, and that's the game. 12-8. Having thrown away so many opportunities to win this game, Mitch would feel decidedly aggrieved if he didn't win. So we're sort of discussing here how this went. I think this is maybe not my least... it's maybe not my least legal game of Thresher, but it's definitely my most shameful. So yeah, feel free to...